Okay, this is a 1996 Weed Badger. It's for in-row cultivation in orchards and vineyards. So it's got this swinging motor. And it's got a PTO-driven hydraulic pump. Thing runs like 25 gallons of oil. It's got a tilt cylinder for berms, and obviously the in-out cylinder for the actuation for when you're passing a tree. It's got a telescopic kind of boom arm back there for setting the width of your tractor, and then it's got this mount here. So we've just been mounting it to this little Kubota L3200 unit, and had to drill some 3/4 inch holes to mount that for the front support. We're probably gonna make a custom tie rod there. We had to started working on the electrical today. It's actually kind of a cool switch that they used. We wired that to the ignition switch with some fuses there. There's 2 fuses, one for the valve and one for the oil cooler fan. This thing's had a few owners, and one of the owners put on this hydraulic oil cooler. It actually runs motor oil instead of hydraulic fluid. So that is just a positive negative lead, and then you've got your automated valve for the in out when you're passing trees. It's funny, the red wire, anytime we had a red wire, it was totally stripped. The insulation was totally stripped on it at all these connection points where it wasn't shielded from UV. So I guess whatever they stabilized the red with did not last these 23 years. So here's the long extension arm that we made. It's just a piece of pipe, galvanized pipe, welded onto a 3-point top link that's been cut in half. And it's got this locking nut here. They specify bolts instead of pins. And you can also see we have the rotor installed with the coil springs. That's the largest rotor. Looks like 18 inches, I can't really tell. I forget off the top of my head. And you can see we've got our depth set with the posi depth plate there. Just stands for positive depth control plate. This tilt cylinder, operate that with this valve extender piece of PVC. This is all done by the previous owner. They did that. And you can see we filled her up probably a little too high. She's been sloshing some oil over the edge. So as far as joints, rotating and telescopic joints, there's this point here where they just got a pin welded on to this 1.25 inch plate, 1 1/8 inch plate, something like that, and they clamp on a stop on the lower end, and this is where the sensor would mount if you were going to use a sensor to actuate this. We're just using the control lever. But the joints are that rotating joint. This is telescopic. That can slide forward and back. Sorry, the video quality is really poor. I haven't made a video in a while. You've got a hinge down here. So this entire arm can hinge with that tilt cylinder. and you've got a pivot point here where the whole arm can go on that axis. And then you also have a telescoping point here. That's good, he's taped that to mark it well. Tape's the best option, but anyway, we've got a clamp here and this whole tube slides in and out. So that's something that could be done really easily. Okay, tractor's on. So I'm gonna turn on the PTO, let go of the clutch, and we're spinning. And then I bring us up to operating speed. Badger's spinning. I don't know what the RPM is. But then you lower your 3-point. And you can, with this hand valve, extend or retract the head.